Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to be trying out something very exciting. We are going to be trying the new Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Foundation. I posted on my Instagram story a few days ago when this was released on Instagram on the Trend Mood account, and I knew this was one I was going to buy immediately, and I did. So we're going to try it out for the first time today, and I'm going to wear it all day long. I'm gonna do check-ins and I'm so excited to try this out. If you're new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty and makeup content here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I hope you'll subscribe, and let's go ahead and get started with the foundation. Let's get into it. I did just apply a little bit of corrector under my eyes since I typically do that before I apply foundation. This is the one from Sigma. And we're gonna get started with the foundation. So this is the Surreal Skin Foundation from Makeup by Mario, his first ever foundation. And I'm so excited. I love Makeup by Mario, the brand. I love him. I think he's so talented, such an amazing makeup artist. So I got two shades because I could not decide. I did one buy online, pick up in store, but then when I went in store, I saw another one of the shades and I couldn't decide. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get both, and maybe this will help you if you are stuck between shades. I will show you both. So I got shade 3 Warm, which is this one. I have to say, I love the bottle. I think this is so sleek and pretty. It goes really well with the overall branding, but I really like it. So this is what it looks like. This is shade 3 Warm. And then I also got shade 5 Neutral. So here's 3 Warm and here is 5 Neutral. So I guess I'll test them both on the side of my face and maybe we'll pick that way. If you are not familiar with the foundation, it retails for $42. Claims to be a luminous foundation with medium buildable coverage. You get 1 fluid ounce of product in here, and it comes in 30 shades. He does say that these are flexible shades, and that you may find that you can wear more than 1 shade, which I thought was very interesting. I do want to mention, I know a lot of what I've been seeing is it has shimmer in it, and it does have some type of glow in it. I have to put it on my face to actually see, but you can see a bit of shimmer in the bottle. But there are other foundations that are like that as well, like the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better foundation is like that. If you look at it in the bottle, you can see that little bit of sheen, and it's the same with this. So this is shade 3 Warm. This is shade 5 Neutral. So this is 5 Neutral down here. This is 3 Warm. Thinking maybe 5 Neutral is gonna be better. I don't know. Like he says, I could probably get away with either one. The formula feels kind of on the thick side. I was thinking this would be more of a watery consistency, and it's not really. It's pretty thick, creamy consistency. One more thing before we apply the foundation. If you're new to my channel, I wanted to tell you about my skin type. My skin type is, I would say, very normal. I don't get oily, and I wouldn't say I'm dry either. I think I'm just a normal skin type. I do have pretty sensitive skin. I don't struggle with acne or texture on my skin. My main concern is redness. So I have redness here. But that's pretty much it in terms of skin concerns. I do typically like more of a natural finish foundation. I like something glowy, but not oily glowy, like too greasy glowy looking. So I'm very curious to try this. I do not have on any primer either, just my normal skincare, which is my Banana Bright eye cream under my eyes and Beauty of Joseon sunscreen. So we're not gonna do primer. I just wanna see how this works with just my skincare underneath. I'll stop talking now and we'll get into it. I think I'm gonna do 5 Neutral, you guys. I don't know, something's telling me to go with 5 Neutral. So, or I don't know, maybe I'll put it here, and here's 3 Warm. I mean, honestly, I'm betting I could probably wear either one of these. Let me put 3 Warm on my neck down here. Okay, but then 3 Warm just like totally blended into my neck. Ugh. Okay, I need to make up my mind here. So there's the swatches. So we have 5 neutral and 3 warm. Now I'm thinking I should go 3 warm. 3 warm is what I initially bought online. And then when I got in the store and I saw 5 neutral, I wasn't sure. So I think we'll go 3 warm. I did also get the brush that he came out with. Whenever a brush comes out with foundation or concealer, but especially foundation, I am such a sucker. I always want to try it. So it's one of the double-ended brushes. Looks like this. So you have a smaller side and then a larger side right here. And what I've seen him do is use the smaller side to kind of draw it on. And then he flips the brush over and stipples it with the larger side. Yeah, it's definitely a thicker consistency than I thought it would be in my head. But okay, I'm gonna do one side at a time. And 1 pump is a lot of product, so I still have all of this left. Oh, and I totally didn't do it the way he's been doing it. Oh well. So he has been getting it on the brush and going like this. So basically swiping it on, kind of like with a traditional foundation brush, the flat brush. So I kind of have it spread out and I flipped the brush over to the larger side and I'm just kind of pressing this in. I really like the size of this brush. I feel like both ends kind of have a little bit of a slant, like a curve to them, which I really like, especially for foundation. So I definitely think this is a fine color for me. I mean, it blends right into my neck. So that is one side with that bit of product that we applied, and this is the other side. Okay, definitely looks very glowy. Let me look up close. Okay, yeah, there is definitely a glow to my skin. I don't see the shimmer though. The shimmer that you see in the bottle, I'm not seeing that on my skin. I have a very noticeable radiance to the skin. Okay, let's do the other side. Or actually, you know what? Let's see. He claims that this is buildable. So I'm gonna get a little bit more and kind of do what I did before. So kind of swipe it and then flip the brush and press it into the skin, which this is typically how I apply foundation. I usually dot it on and then use a brush and kind of stipple, since that's typically how you get the best coverage. I do really like this brush though. All right, so I definitely think it added a bit of coverage right in this area when I added a little bit more. Let's do the other side. So far I would say definitely glowy. I would for sure agree with that, but it doesn't look like it's emphasizing anything, like pores is what I'm really referring to on my face. Typically, if I'm gonna have issues with emphasizing my pores, it's gonna be right here. But I wanna give it a minute and kind of let it sit down for a minute. I will say it is that thicker consistency that I talked about earlier, but I do feel like it spreads pretty easily. I'm not having an issue getting it to move. I'm gonna flip the brush again and press this in. Initially, what comes to mind as I'm applying this is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. If you've been around my channel for a while, you'll probably remember when that foundation came out. I was not a huge fan of it, which is kind of surprising for me because I love Charlotte Tilbury. That's kind of what this is reminding me of. My main issue with that Charlotte foundation is it did not wear well on me. After, I would say, like 2 or 3 hours, the glow that it gives totally settled in this area where I was talking about earlier, where I noticed issues with products settling in my pores. That was my issue with the Charlotte foundation. I have just a little bit left on my hand, so I'm going to grab it on the smaller side of the brush and just kind of stipple it right here. This is really the only area on my face where I ever want any more coverage. So here it is on both sides. So this was one pump. So I used everything I pumped out on my hand in 3 warm. I would still say this is medium coverage, very solid medium coverage. I don't personally like any more coverage than this. I don't know if I did more, if I could get it to full coverage, but I personally like it the way it is. Definitely super glowy. What I am noticing and what I'm interested in the most is right here, it does not look to be emphasizing any type of pore on my face. Now, I do have a lot of glow, but it looks overall very smooth on my face. But like I said, I don't have acne prone skin. I don't have a lot of skin texture. So I don't know how this would be on someone that does. So far, I really like it. I think it's very pretty, but we gotta wear this all day. I wanna do the rest of my makeup and see how it lays over the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of my makeup. I'll come back, we'll set it with some powder, and then we'll move on with a video. So I've done a little bit of bronzer and blush, but I did both creams. So I wanna use some powder now. I'm gonna use the one that I've been loving for months now, and it's the House Labs powder. I know that this works well for me typically, so I want to make sure I use a powder that I really like. Okay, so I'm going to use the 55 brush from Sephora. I've been loving this brush for powder. And this is the translucent color in the House Labs powder. So I really want to see what happens in this area, because I know for a fact that this powder typically really blurs that area. So like this side has the powder, this side does not. So that side doesn't, this side does. So I feel like it does a really good job of mattifying that area. So that definitely took down the shine quite a bit. I'm gonna go on the sides of my nose also. I'm really setting everywhere. And I might even take a little bit under my eyes in a minute, but okay, yeah. So it looks 1,000 times less glowy with that bit of powder on there. It looks very smooth. I still have the glow left like on my cheeks, but this area looks much more mattified, much more natural looking with the powder on it. But the test, like I said earlier, would be how it looks after a few hours, because it's definitely reminding me of the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin. I hope it wears well, because that was my main issue with that foundation. But I'm gonna go ahead and go under my eyes with a damp sponge and just make sure I don't have any random creasing. And then I'm gonna go ahead and apply a little bit of powder under my eyes. So now we are nice and set down. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup and I'll be back. All right, you guys, I did the rest of my makeup and this is what it's looking like. I wanted to kind of share my thoughts now that I have everything else applied to my face. I do have a lot of Makeup by Mario products on my face, so I will list and link everything below. But right now, it looks absolutely beautiful now that I've set it with powder, and I did also set the bronzer on my face with a little bit of powder. I used the Skin Perfector from Makeup by Mario. In fact, I used both of these. I used the Skin Enhancer and then set it with the Skin Perfector. And now I still have a glow to my face for sure, but it's definitely not as noticeable as it was when I first applied it. Mainly in this area, I still have a good bit of glow right here from the cream products, and I didn't apply a whole lot of powder there, but I have definitely set down in my T-zone, which is what I'm mainly concerned about. But it does look very beautiful. I definitely like it much more with that bit of powder on. And I do still have a glow, but it's much more realistic looking now, because typically your skin is not super, super glowy and reflective all over. That's not really like a natural skin finish. So I feel like it looks much more natural now. So the test will surely be how this wears, because like I was saying earlier, issues that I've had in the past with the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin is it looks okay when you apply it. It does not look okay after an hour or two. So I'm hoping this one wears well. But overall, I'm very impressed. I think the coverage is really nice. And right now it looks beautiful on my skin. I'm nervous about how it will wear throughout the day. I think if you have very, very dry skin, you would love this for sure, because it definitely is very moisturizing feeling, even though it's a thicker formula. It almost feels kind of like a skincare infused foundation, just a little bit. It's very moisturizing feeling, and it looks very moisturizing as well on the skin. So I feel like if you have dry skin, you would definitely love this. I do not see the shimmer particles on my face. I did also want to say that, because you definitely can see that bit of glow in the bottle when you look, but on your skin, even before I set with powder, you cannot see any sparkle on your face. I couldn't, at least. But those are kind of my initial thoughts. I'm gonna wear it, fingers crossed it wears well throughout the day. I will be back in a few hours and we will see how everything's looking. Hi guys, so it's been about 3.5 hours since I applied the foundation. I'm just standing in front of a window right now. So this is in natural light. So it still looks really nice. I mean, it's definitely glowy, like you can see the glow on my face, but that is mainly on the cheek area where I didn't powder as much. I do feel like the center of my face, like the sides of my nose, still look pretty good, not oily or anything, and nothing's really rubbed off that I can see. Everything pretty much looks the same. So there's your check-in. Not a whole lot has changed. I think it looks really pretty and dewy and nice. So I will see you in a few hours and we'll check in and see how it's doing. Hey you guys, so it's been, I would say, about 5 hours now since I applied the foundation. I'm just standing in front of a window. So this is all natural light here. And I mean, it looks really good to me, you guys. I feel like it still looks good in this area. This is where I'm mainly concerned with, like right here beside my nose. I feel like it still looks pretty good. Now, I did not prime my skin today, just FYI. I wonder how this foundation would be if I did prime with like a more of a pore filling or a mattifying primer. Because when I added the powder, that's kind of what took away a lot of the extreme shine right here. So I don't know, since this is the first time I'm wearing it and I didn't prime, I don't know. If you have a lot of skin texture, I'm thinking you probably would want to prime for sure. But yeah, on me so far, I'm pretty impressed with this. It looks much better than the Charlotte Tilbury foundation that I was referring to earlier. That one, like 1 hour in, looked terrible on me. I mean, it just did not wear well on my skin. But considering I have no primer on and I have not touched up my face at all, I haven't added anything to my face since I applied this 5 hours ago, I feel like it looks pretty good. I'm probably gonna do one final check-in in a few hours and kind of give you my final thoughts. But so far, with no touch-ups, no primer, I think it looks pretty good. So I will see you in a few hours. All right, you guys, it's the end of the day and I wanted to kind of go over my thoughts and close out the video. So I have not touched up my face at all. I haven't powdered, I haven't done my lips again, I literally haven't touched up anything. So this has been 8 hours of wear with no touch up. And honestly, you guys, I'm very impressed with this. I still think in this area, it exceeded my expectations. I was afraid that it was really gonna sink in right here, especially because I didn't use a primer, but it really didn't. And for a foundation this glowy, that's a pretty big deal, especially with no primer underneath. So I am very happy with it. It looks very smooth, very pretty on my skin. I will say, do I think everyone is gonna like this? No. I think if you have extremely dry skin or dry skin, you would love this. Or if you just love a glowy, radiant look. If you're very into the flawless filter or the e.l.f. halo glow underneath your foundation because you want that glow to come through, this foundation does all that for you. So honestly, you could skip any type of glowy base or glowy primer underneath this. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't moisturize. I always think no matter what your skin type is, you should always prep your skin, moisturize your skin, no matter what. But this eliminates the need for those really hyped up glowy products. The Flawless Filter, the Halo Glow, the Stay Glowy Super Gel, any of those things, totally unnecessary with this foundation because it has the glow for you. And you can see I powdered my face and this is 8 hours later. The glow is still there, but I don't have oily spots on my skin. I just have a glow. I really like it, but I like a glowy finish. If you don't, then definitely stay away. If you have super oily skin, I don't know that you're gonna love this unless you just happen to really love the glowy look. If you like the Hollywood Flawless Filter, this is it with foundation mixed with it. This is what I wanted from the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin. This is what I wanted it to look like, and this is how I wanted it to wear on my skin. So if you are into that type of product, I think you would like it. If you have a lot of texture and extremely oily skin, I don't know that you're gonna love this. You might be able to make it work with a mattifying or pore filling primer underneath. I'm looking forward to playing around with it some more and kind of testing out different primers underneath. But I don't know that everyone is gonna love this, but I personally do because this is the type of finish that I like. I will obviously keep wearing this and I will keep you updated in future videos, but my first impression is very good for me. Do I think it will work for everyone? Probably not, but this is to me very similar to Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin, but better and longer lasting. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1. And I will see you next time for another video. Remember, simply be you. Bye.